for 2017 is officially open. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioner. So, with
how
that,
long does this clock tick
over
down?
under 8 minutes that Cleveland takes to make this pick.
well, we will see. Cleveland, in fact, is on the clock right now.
Unless there's a trade, it should be over under 80 seconds.
Yeah,
that's the one
should.
thing. When I was able to run the draft in Philadelphia in it was 98 draft. If you go back and check who made their first round pick the quickest, it was me.
I don't have time for this.
I did. I just gotta. You look at the time. Everybody took their 15 minutes. I think I turned my card in at 9 minutes. I said. I looked at everybody. Said I've had enough.
Do you like the player?
Trey Thomas, Florida
taking
State. Yeah, Trey Thomas, Florida State offensive tackle. We took in that draft for Philadelphia, and again, everybody's like, "Gosh, why'd you hand it in so quick?" And I'm like, I got tired of waiting around. We read the 11th pick, and I'm like, you know what?
That's the most Brian Broaddus thing I've ever heard.
I
don't have all day.
I don't have all day for this. I knew I wanted to take, and so we took. So the Brownies are on the clock. We think, or do we know, Dane Brugler, that this pick is going to be Myles Garrett?
This is the NFL draft. We don't know 100% anything. But if the commish says any other name at number 1 to the Cleveland Browns, any other name but Myles Garrett, it would be a complete shock.
Well, we're seeing they're showing shots of the Cleveland Browns war room as we speak. They look very comfortable. Hugh Jackson. They all look very relaxed, like they know exactly what they're going to do. Hopefully, they will make the pick. They're on the clock, as I said. They're at 8 minutes as we speak now.
I mean, this isn't news to anybody, but this rundown of their first round picks is brutal.
Shield your eyes.
Yeah, they have had some tough
Richardson, Gilbert, Manziel,
and the big thing, there's like 4 different general managers across that.
That's the biggest problem.
Exactly. There's no
that is the biggest problem
continuity in the front office.
But the one thing you could say about the Cowboys is that in the last several years, the drafts have improved because the continuity of the coaching staff has remained the same. The general manager, of course, has always been the same. But now, with Will McClay, and everybody's becoming more comfortable with that. When you continue to change schemes, change coaches, change general managers, your scheme, all those things are just gonna wear you down, and you're not going to be able to grab the type of player or build a roster with any consistency.
Right. And I think that's a credit to, ownership and just understanding that, understanding that you need that continuity. You need, time to let these guys do their jobs. And that's a lot of owners don't have patience. And talking about Cleveland, they don't have patience. And so that happens. So a lot of these guys get run out of town and they don't have a chance to develop anyone. And so hopefully, the new regime there in Cleveland, the analytics approach, Hugh Jackson as head coach, hopefully they just give him a chance to go through a few drafts, build a team, see what happens.
Dang, just talk a little bit. I mean, we really haven't got to focus much because Myles Garrett, of course, we feel like he's a top 3 pick. So we haven't talked a whole lot about. But when you sat down and watched Myles Garrett's game, what did and you had to look at tape where you had to kind of say, well, is he healthy or not? That was always going to be the question.
Well, the moment last year's draft ended, Myles Garrett was the number 1 player in this draft from the start. And so going into the year, I'm following him throughout the season. And I was watching that Arkansas game when he took that cut block and injured his lower left leg. And you could tell he just wasn't the same after that. The Alabama game, he was maybe 70%. So, that it is important. But the season opener against UCLA, I thought he was outstanding. You watch him, he's a height, weight, speed freak. And then you also factor in, he knows what he's doing. He understands how to use his hands, use his leverage. He's not just a guy that relies on the physical gifts. He understands how to do the dance. And I think for a player that just turned 21 years old, that's going to continue to grow and develop. And so you're excited about who Myles Garrett is right now, but you're pumped about who he could be 2-3 years from now.
This would just be the most classic case of, and I'm not saying Myles Garrett's definitely going to be an all-pro, but just don't overthink it. It's right there for you.
No, I've said this is the easiest decision a team picking number 1 has had since 2012 and Andrew Luck and the Colts. I mean, you look at last year. Some people would say Clowney. I would say Khalil Mack was right there. I mean, this year we don't have a Khalil Mack that's really challenging Myles Garrett to be the top guy. So take the pass rusher and listen. We talk about Cleveland and how they've been searching for that quarterback since '99. Cleveland hasn't had a legit pass rusher since the '70s.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, talking about the number 2 position on the roster, they have not had a guy that's had back-to-back double-digit sack seasons or, just a defensive presence off the edge that teams worry about. And so to get a guy like Myles Garrett who could be that player, it's a big win for this organization. It doesn't matter what happens the rest of the draft. The Browns are a winner in the draft if they take Myles Garrett number 1.
Well, they're showing the Cleveland Browns draft table, and there's no movement there on the table. I think they're just going to let this clock wind down and then hand their card in. But
why wait though? Why wait the whole 10 minutes?
Great question.
They've been on the clock since
It's like a bit or something.
Well, to play devil's advocate, give teams a chance to
that's true.
call in and try to make a trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not me. Not when I was. I'm like, you know what? I didn't feel like anybody wanted my 11th pick. I was just going to go ahead and make that. But Dane, you talk about it, and you're an Ohio kid.
Yeah.
And you talk about with Myles Garrett really what he means. They need to get off that quarterback train. Now they got the 12th pick,
But that's it. Who knows?
But you need a player like Myles Garrett.
I keep hearing that. Yeah, they need a quarterback. Well, they have picks 12 and 33 and even 65 to find a guy if they want
52
to.
as well.
There you go. They're loaded with picks where you can get a quality quarterback. There's no need to do something stupid here.
Pick is in.
Well, the pick is in, so we've got to keep an eye on Commissioner Goodell, going to the podium and announcing the pick here. But we all seem to believe that this pick will be Myles Garrett from Texas A&M.
There will be 31 NFL teams that, they're just aghast if this is not Myles Garrett. They will be shocked if this is not the pick here. It's not just us on the outside. 31 NFL teams will be shocked.
Yeah, there's folks in San Francisco right now are kind of thinking
God. They're hoping.
But this is where you do your football research. This is where you have your sources. This is where you have guys that you kind of talked with, whether it's scouts, whoever at other teams. You have an idea of what Cleveland is probably going to do here. So maybe no surprise for the 49ers if Myles Garrett, in fact, is picked. And we all believe that. We feel like that, all along. This is really your number 1 guy, though, isn't it, Dane?
Without a doubt.
Okay, well, here's the commissioner, and he's walking to the podium.
All the chess pieces are flying in the air.
With the first pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Myles Garrett.
All right.
There you go.
Defensive end, Texas A&M.
All right, Myles Garrett.
Thank you, Cleveland,
Yeah.
for just doing what's smart.
How about just doing your job? Is that what you're saying?
Do your job.
So the Cleveland Browns, in fact, take Myles Garrett.
And like I said, it really, obviously, Browns have a lot of picks. They want to hit home runs with these picks. It doesn't matter who else they pick. They just hit a home run for this draft. And this draft will be remembered as the one where they took Myles Garrett, number 1 overall. And I think he's going to make a huge impact from day one. This is a guy you want on your football team. It's going to be interesting now what they do at 12 if they want to move up and try to get that quarterback.
And that's actually, I've been, in my, not that I'm the expert that Dane Brugler is, but in the mock draft that I did, I had them taking Deshaun Watson 12. Pick whatever quarterback you want and pick whatever spot you want. Even if you want to trade up to 5 and get rid of a pick or two to get that, you can do whatever you want now because you have a surefire guy in Myles Garrett. Nobody's going to criticize what you do to get your quarterback now that you've landed the draft's best player.
Absolutely. And remember, who's the new defensive coordinator for the Browns? Greg Williams.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy who thrives on pressure.
Yeah.
It's a good fit for that football team. It's amazing how all these rumors came out about Trubisky, and you just wonder where all that came from because I think this has been a no-brainer. I don't think they wavered. This is the best player in the draft. But like I said, now we have to watch the Browns, see what they do. If they want to creep up, get to number 3, get to number 5, get the quarterback, or if maybe they just go without a quarterback in the first round. Who knows?
What do you think? All right, and the popular one is they jump up to 5 and trade with Tennessee. What would it cost? Is that costing you 33 and
33 and probably a 2 next year.
Now, let me do that. Just going off the Cowboys chart.
What's 33 worth?
33 is worth that we've talked about 33 before. That's worth 580.
Yeah.
So you go 580, and you're trying to go from that's so,
5 is worth 1,700.
So you're trying to go from 12 to 5. Is that what you want to do, David?
Yep.
What's 12 worth?
12 is worth
12 is worth 1,200.
So you'd be overpaying a little bit.
Oh, so 33 might get it done.
33 you could get, or you could do 52 and then another pick,
And
maybe.
Really,
I think you want to do it as clean as possible.
I agree.
I think you just want to do it as clean as possible.
And that's the point I'm trying to make here is Myles Garrett is already in the bag. You've got him. You got the draft's best player. If you're giving up 33 to go get the quarterback you like the most, who cares?